it's absolutely absurd to think that we can support this. Right. Look at this. Look at these people. These people care about our community. You're going to devastate our community. You're just going to destroy what we have down here. It's not right. We need the resources for ourselves.
Can I ask you why you're down here today?
Yeah, so obviously we're down here raising a lot of awareness. For a lot of people in the town, they're not aware that we're bringing in illegal immigrants into our community. There were plans announced just a couple weeks ago to move 100 families into the Yarmouth Resort down in West Yarmouth, and we had no notice about it, and it just raised a lot of concerns for our community, concerns about who are these people? Are they vetted? What are we bringing in here? Also concerns about our community in the sense that we're not even taking care of ourselves right now. We have issues with housing, we have issues with people getting goods and services, and there's problems in our educational system. We don't have the resources to support something like this. We're a seasonal community. We don't have a lot of resources, especially in the off-season. So we started at the Yarmouth Resort last week. We decided we wanted to move to a different location, mainly because we don't want to mislead the public into thinking the problem is just at the Yarmouth Resort, because it's a Cape-wide problem. When I started the group on Facebook, I was strictly focused on the Yarmouth Resort, but now we've expanded it to include all of Cape Cod. So now we're Cape Cod concerned citizens, and this is going to affect the Cape in ways that we can't even fathom. It's going to affect our tourism, it's going to affect our locals, it's going to affect our taxes, it's going to affect our schools, our medical care, the goods and services that we all struggle to obtain down here. They're going to be doing work on the bridges, and then what are we going to do? How are we going to get things in here? It's just, it's absolutely absurd to think that we can support this.
And who are the people responsible for making decisions regarding this?
Well, that's a good question. So ultimately, it's Maura Healey that is planning to send these migrants to our community. So she's at the top with the responsibility. But then down through the state level and into the town, we need their support too. And we're not hearing from them. We're not hearing from any of our state representatives. And our town, we hear, is pushing back, but we don't really see it, we don't feel it. There's a Board of Select meeting on Tuesday night. We're going to be sure that we're down here and that they hear our voices.
And who are the state reps, and what would you like to say to them?
Yeah, so if you're representing any of us here on Cape Cod, look at this. Look at these people. These people care about our community. You're going to devastate our community. You're just going to destroy what we have down here. It's not right. We need the resources for ourselves.
What brought you out here today?
I'm helping with the Cape Cod Concerned Citizens because illegal immigration is definitely a problem, especially for Cape Cod, because we just don't have the resources here. And I think it's an issue that whatever party you belong to, I think people understand that we just can't help everyone else when we have so many needy people already on the Cape. The resources are just minimal. Housing, food, the healthcare system. There are people on Cape Cod that currently cannot even get a primary care physician. That's how bad the healthcare system is down here. So there's no way that we can take on more people and give them all of the services that they should have in a humanitarian way on the Cape. It's just not possible. But we are hoping that everyone, no matter what their party affiliation is, will see this as a humanitarian issue on both sides of it, for the Americans that live here on the Cape and also for the immigrants that are coming. And so we are hoping to bring everyone into the fold and, be united as one group. And we are trying to petition our elected officials to hear us and listen to us and let us know and keep us informed as their constituents, to keep us informed as to what is going on. Everything is happening behind closed doors, and we want to be made aware. It's our right as constituents and taxpayers to be aware of what is going on.
Which officials would you like to see hear this message?
Well, the Cape Cod officials, our Senator Julian Cyr, there has been no response from him whatsoever. There's been extremely limited communication with Representative Kip Diggs, and there has been just a slight amount of communication with Representative Flanagan. And there's been zero communication from the State House. And
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
Personally, I'm not speaking for the group, but personally I believe that they are just trying to do this all. You always see it that they're bringing everyone in the cover of darkness. They're doing it in a way that is underhanded, that, they're bringing them in and then it's, the next morning, oh, well, there's nothing we can do. They're there now. So that's why we're trying to be proactive to make sure that they're listening to us so that we can maybe perhaps get them to see that, again, as I referenced, the resources are not here. And so we're trying to get them to realize this before too many of the immigrants come here. Okay, thank you.
I'm not going to go below what the town's charging me, and that's only freaking 25.
Okay, my name is Brad, and I am a concerned citizen. 4 years with the United States Department of State in the consular area. I've lived overseas for 17 and a half years in our various consulates and embassies, each time working with immigrant and non-immigrant visas. So I know what the legal process looks like. I've spent 5.5 years living and working in Russia. I arrived in the Soviet days and saw that downfall, one of the happiest days of my life. I was the chief of anti-fraud in our consular section in Bogota. I've worked immigrant visas in the Dominican Republic. I've spent time in Spain, a couple of years there. 17 and a half years all told. And what is upsetting me and what's getting me concerned is illegal immigration.
Yes! Amen!
Woo! So today I'd like to take a little bit of your time to explain legal versus illegal immigration. With legal immigration, people come to the United States on a petition for immigration. It's forwarded overseas, if the person is there, to our appropriate consulate and embassy. Every person that is petitioned for an immigrant visa must pass a physical examination given by our doctors, the doctors that are chosen by the embassies and the consulates. I've worked behind desks and I've had immigration files packed up to here, and I'll tell you each one is about 1 inch or 2 thick. I was charged with adjudicating those applications. To go through the file, one of the first things I would look for would be the police report. Every immigrant petition must have a certified police report issued by the police where the person lives. Check through that. I have refused immigrants on the basis of prior convictions. I have refused would-be immigrants for things that they've done in the past. There are laws protecting us regarding those things. I've looked through the files and I've seen their health reports. These doctors are chosen by the U.S. Embassy and regularly inspected. They can be trusted. I refused, I can't tell you how many, but it probably goes into the hundreds of immigrants with active tuberculosis and other contagious diseases. What happens to them? If it can be cured, they are given advice to see our doctors, take treatment, be re-examined sometime in the future. If they should happen to overcome the disease, their petition can be acted on again if everything's okay. Another thing that we find in the immigrant petition is a sponsor. Somebody in the United States, usually a close relative, because most people coming into the United States on an immigrant visa are being petitioned by a close relative. So they have an anchor in the community. They have somebody who speaks their language, somebody who is related, somebody who could probably plug them in to the community and get them started in this country. That's legal immigration. There are a lot of categories of legal immigration. All told, if you added up all the people admitted to the United States each year under legal immigration, you would find that the total amounts to about 1 million people, which is more generous than any other country on the face of this earth. So that's what we have in place. It's all based on the Immigration and Naturalization Act of 1965 as amended. There have been a lot of amendments over the years. Sometimes it looks like a crazy quilt of laws at this point. The immigration code probably needs to be reformed, but it's extremely difficult to get that done in Washington, as you know and I know. Before we go any further, I'd like to say I am not acting as a spokesman for the United States State Department. Any opinions that you hear coming out of my mouth here are my own opinions and not the opinions of the United States State Department. I'm acting as an individual, a concerned citizen like the rest of us. Now let's take a look at illegal immigration. How does that take place? Illegal immigration takes place when any person enters the United States without authority. Now, many countries in this world have been given visa-free access to the United States. Most of those countries are in Europe. There are a few in Latin America, and there are a few more in other countries worldwide. Those people and those countries have been given immigration break in that they do not follow under these quotas, but they're just allowed to come in for short periods of time. They're adjudicated at the point of entry. They're given a stamp into their passports, and usually they're given 6 months to do whatever they want to do, and then go home. Now, many people, as we all know, have decided to take the law into their own hands. These are people who arrive on our shores, in our airports, on the southern border, without proper documentation. These people are not petitioned for. Some of them do have relatives here, but they're just sick and tired of waiting. Some people wait 4, 5, 6 years for their priority date to appear and be issuable for an immigrant visa, and they just don't want to wait anymore. Some of the people know that they would be excluded from the United States if they went through the legal process. Other people decide that they just want to live here for whatever reason, and they're not going to go through the legal process. The situation on our southern border is a very sad situation. For the first time in many, many decades, the number of illegal immigration to the United States is now exceeding the number of legal immigrants. And what happens? These people have to be cleared. If they encounter an official at the border, these people have to give an account of themselves to a person, usually CBP, Customs and Border Protection, and adjudication must be made in their case. The Border Patrol and the people working in that establishment on our southern border cannot just say to people, oh, fine, go ahead in the United States. That just can't happen if you have run into the official running the immigration system on the border. They have to make an adjudication. Now, they'll make an adjudication not admissible, in which case they'll attempt to turn them around, get them back to Mexico. Many of these people have been coached, and they know what to say in order to establish a prima facie case of persecution or danger, and they try for refugee status. If the official hearing them decides that what the intending immigrant is talking about does fit into that policy or might fit into that policy, they can be admitted into the United States on a temporary basis. They're given a priority date, a hearing date at an immigration court, to which they must appear if they want to adjust their status to a permanent legal situation in the United States. Needless to say, a lot of them never show up at those hearings. But we often hear our opposition say, well, you're not fighting illegal immigration here. All these people are legal. Well, they weren't legal when they crossed the border. And they've been given a temporary status. How long that lasts is anybody's guess. But they are the end product of illegal immigration. Our people in the government on the border are given strict orders to process these people as fast as they possibly can because they're stacking up. The federal government has run out of holding facilities. That's why they are passing the buck on to the states. The federal government has no place to put these people. And the holding facilities are emptying out very slowly down there. So that is why we are seeing this influx, which has been unprecedented in its level. Because the federal government is offloading these people. And they're offloading them to the states. Now, what is the real difference here? I mean, these people have, been in contact with immigration, they must be okay. Well, maybe, maybe not. The most famous refugee family, I think, that probably came into this country around here was the Zanaya family in Boston. And how quickly our leaders forget. The Zanaya brothers were most famous for bombing the Boston Marathon. They were here on refugee status. And the background on the security check on that family leaves a lot to be desired. Do you think that the people that are being brought up here have had stricter background checks? Do you think that they had police reports from their local police departments with their criminal background checks? How long do you think an immigration official has to process a family into the United States and make a decision whether we're going to return them or whether we're going to let them in? I would say to you, it is less than an hour. And if you can get a complete background on people and get a nice, complete physical, on the medical field done under an hour, I'd be pretty surprised. Another thing that is the end result of illegal immigration is that it's unlimited by its very nature. And what our state is doing, in my opinion, as a sanctuary state, is we are backing unlimited and unregulated immigration. Nothing less than that. Oh, but we're helping these people. Well, I beg to differ. If I was going to help people, I would send them to a place where there's employment. This is after Labor Day, folks. The restaurants are closing down. And a lot of other businesses are closing down. Just coming over here, I passed a bakery that's already gone to 3 days a week. And I passed a restaurant that's closed up. And yet we're going to send people to this location? Where's the future in that?
It's human trafficking for political gain. Exactly. And that's what it is. I'll call it what it is right here and right now.
Another thing I'd like to point out is that there's no widespread community of their own language here.
Correct. We need a trade.
Many of these people, for all we know, speak no English. We don't know. And that's very unfortunate. But even so, with legal immigration, they have relatives, they have contacts, they have a way to get into our society and make a success of themselves. With the illegal immigration, as we can see, people are simply dumped. How many of us have had an explanation of who these people are? Where did they come from?
Oh no, they're coming from Haiti.
How many children do they have? You know, the impact on the schools should have been planned. Do we have ESL teachers for all of these people? I doubt it. Have they been vaccinated to the list that public schools have always required?
Nope.
I doubt it.
Illegals don't have to be vaccinated.
So,
that's what they said. Illegal children
okay.
do not have to be vaccinated.
Now, if I was interested in the success of these people, and I was running a state program, I would have a series of roundtables with the communities to explain what is coming so they could plan. That has not been done in the slightest that I know about.
Hasn't been done through the whole country, never mind just the
Instead,
state.
we're getting a mystery package. Now, I submit that all of this shows that the people running this situation, running this railroad, have absolutely no respect for alien people.
No respect for us.
If nothing, in my opinion, could have been a worse decision than to send hundreds of people to Cape Cod after Labor Day and expect them to succeed.
They're giving them driver's license so they can vote.
So that is the difference, in sum, between legal and illegal immigration. If you say, well, I'm all in favor of helping these people, you know, they're in trouble, and it's in my nature to help them out. Well, who are we helping out? Many of these people came to us through the border, I would bet. If so, the likelihood is that they paid coyotes to guide them across the border, teach them what to say to the immigration people at the border, and prep them for entry into the United States. And what is going on in the state of Massachusetts at this moment is we are providing the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. These people have paid thousands of dollars in order to get that help across the border. The people who are profiting from them are the southern cartels. on the southern side of the border, who I might add control their side of the border a heck of a lot better than we control our side of the border. Illegal immigration, human trafficking, drug smuggling.
There was a sex
Those
trafficker
are big-
arrested in Yarmouth.
Those are big, big money makers for the cartels. And we're talking billions of dollars. The illegal immigration network is worldwide. When I was stationed in St. Petersburg, we detected a group of hundreds of Somalis trying to get from the northern reaches of Finland into the northern border of Norway. Somalis. Now that gives you an idea of how vast and how influential and how organized illegal immigration can be. They were trying to get into Finland because they had, trying to get into Norway because they had heard that the welfare was better. So that is what we're facing. Okay, that is just about everything I got. I'll take just a few questions. I've gone about as long as I would like to, but I'll take a few. What has to be done is a long process. This is not going to be an overnight success. But